Hey everyone, welcome back to another Stock Market Open live stream. Wow, I totally thought I was still in a different time zone, and it is so weird to actually be back here because no, this doesn't start at 6:25. This starts at 5:25. So, welcome back to California, I guess. Crazy. Anyway, welcome back. So let's take a peek at what we got here. So we have the bell in about 15 minutes here. We've got the Qs are down about 25 bips going into the day. Remember, obviously, today is JPOW day, which is interesting because, well, we're all wondering if we're going to get JPOW'd to the face. Really interested to see what ends up happening. Yesterday, we did have some earnings, quite a few earnings actually, and they're sort of leading to, well, let's just say quite a bit of red here. You've got Super Microcomputer beats, but it doesn't beat by Wall Street's sort of greedy expectations, and so the stock's down 8%. We've got Square all of a sudden. Oh, that's interesting. They must have released something this morning because yesterday they were not moving at all. But anyway, I'll find that out in a moment. Square here is down 6.5% going into the pre-market. We've got, let's see here. Okay, we'll get this office work functioning again. But anyway, Square is down, Square or Block down 644. AMD, a little disappointed there in AMD. You know, we're really, I didn't make any bets, mostly just because AI expectations have been so high. But I've been really looking at AMD and thinking, wow, you know, this downtrend on AMD has just been brutal for the darn company. And, well, didn't work out. The darn company ends up coming out with actually some pretty good numbers. The numbers were good. The earnings were pretty good. But again, not good enough for the artificial intelligence revolution. And so what do we have? A negative 5.3% here on AMD. Then you've got Coinbase down another 2.3. One of the reasons you've got Coin moving down is because you've got a bit of this Bitcoin sell down. And when I say a bit of a Bitcoin sell down, I mean we're all the way under 58,000. Just yesterday, after we had the Hong Kong ETFs approved for BTC, we had a bit of a buy the rumor, sell the news moment, and we really broke through that 60,000 level. We kept testing that 59K, kept breaking through, break through. Now, I hate to say it, but we've just legged down again. It's not great. We've got a fib level at about 57.4. So as you can see, we've moved down quite a bit from those all-time highs right around the era of Bitcoin ETF approval of 73,800. Then we've really moved sideways for quite a while. We've had war, we've had euphoria, we've had sadness, we've had really everything, driving us right back down to 57.7. So a little unfortunate here for those really enthusiastic on BTC, but 57.7 is where we sit now, and we do have that level at 57.4 that we really want to pay attention to. We can actually see we did have a candlestick pull us all the way down to 56.5 for a brief moment. That does look like we went right above support again, and so we'll pay attention to that. Most of the hawkish tilt today, per what some of the folks on the street are saying, is because now you might be getting a little bit of a more hawkish JPOW. A JPOW who's waking up to the realization that, dang it, I just can't wish for that Goldilocks scenario anymore. I'm going to have to do a little bit of oopsie-doopsying, and that's going to make everyone's job a little harder. You've got yields coming down about 3 basis points this morning. On the 10-year, oil down honestly about $5 since that wilderness of chaos that we had between Israel and Iran. Knock on wood, we don't really want any more chaos over there, but boy, it's been relatively quiet, I have to say. And so, yeah, knock on wood, because, you know, when you say that, well, like, if you're, you know, there are a lot of professions where you just don't say that. Like, it's been the Q word, because you know, then things start getting a little noisy again. Yeah, New York Community Bank up 21% here in the AM. So now this sucker has gone down all the way to $2.60. Since its last earnings, it really stabilized there for a moment at about $4. And boy, oh boy, did it give up $4. It went all the way down to $2.60 for New York Community Bank. But now the stock is back to 22%. And so let's get a little bit of an understanding as to what's going on over at New York Community Bank. New York Community Bank reported earnings this morning. It is May 1st. Oh, welcome to May. That means today is the deadline to invest in HouseHack. That's kind of crazy. We're already here at May 1st. That's pretty wild. So if you're interested in that, obviously go to househack.com/2024 to read the prospectus. This is not a solicitation, but make sure when you do read that, you could also come to the Q&A we're doing after the Jerome Powell live stream. So we'll do the Jerome Powell live stream, then we'll do a HouseHack Q&A. So, and that'll all be in the same video, so that way we can sort of do a summary at the end and then just jump right into the HouseHack Q&A. New York Community Bank Q1 provision for credit losses comes in at $315 million versus the $249. That's actually quite, quite a little boost there. This is something that we've seen at some of the larger banks as well, though what I notice is Wall Street doesn't really move off provision for credit losses, which is interesting because it kind of should. Provision for credit losses is really their expectation that they're going to lose more money from people not paying their bills. And so when I see provisions for credit losses jump, I get a little nervous. So those sitting at 315 versus 349, nice jump here. If I do a percentage on that, let's just do 315 divided by 250. That puts me at about a 26% increase in credit loss provisions for New York Community Bank. Again, this is something where you look at it and go, all right, Wall Street might not care. We might consider paying attention to it, but whatever. Wall Street is a Wall Street. So let's, I'm actually going to write that down because I think that's very interesting. So we're going to just say New York Community Bank, and let's drop this in here. So we've got provision for credit losses up 26%. Okay, then we've got net interest margin 228. It comes in a little less than that 237 expected. Total loans and leases 82.3. I mean, so far these are all like misses. Deposits coming in at 74.8 billion versus 79 expected. So I mean, I've just got miss here. So they must have had said something that makes people more comfortable that they're able to survive here. Yeah, here we go. So 2024 is seen as a quote transition year, more normalized, they're saying, in 2025, 2026. Then we've got, let's see, CEO says they'll aggressively look at their cost structure, completing their due diligence on multifamily commercial real estate loans. They think they are relatively interest rate insensitive. Yeah, okay, now they're just smoking something special there. Anyway, and they looked at the CD market for some recent funding. CFO says deposits showed stable growth in April. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to write this down. Deposits showing stable growth in April. Might do in Q1. Q1 deposits, though, came in at a total of 74.86 billion versus the 79 point, what do we got here, 29 billion expected. So in my opinion, what you have here is some hopium. You've got really a CEO that's coming out swinging, going, hey, don't worry, things are better at New York Community Bank. Don't mind that our credit losses are up 26%, and don't mind that we missed on our deposits by like 6 to 7%. Don't mind any of that. All we want you to care about is that things should be better in Q2. That's a little bit of what you've got in terms of New York Community Bank. So that gives us a little bit of an update on them. Let's jump over to Square and see what's going on there, since clearly there is a little bit of movement in the stock here. So there's an NBC report. Interesting. Okay. Federal prosecutors examining FINL transactions on Block. Okay, this is interesting. I don't really know what's going on there. Let's write this down. So we've got a Block, Square, NBC. Federal prosecutors are examining financial transactions. So that's not good for them. So what do we have here? We have federal prosecutors are digging into the internal practices at Block, launched by Jack Dorsey, discussing with a former employee alleged widespread and years-long compliance lapses at the company. Yeah, that's not great. The former employee provided prosecutors from the Southern District of New York documents that says they show insufficient information is collected from Square and Cash App customers to assess risks. That Square processed thousands of transactions involving countries subject to economic sanctions, and they processed cryptocurrency transactions for terrorist groups. Right. Okay. So some allegations there from a former employee over at Square, helping that stock tank just a smidge in there. Just a little, what do we have there? Was that like 6% or something? Oh, no, Kevin. That was 7.4%. Don't mind the oopsie doopsie allegations there. Okay. So then, let's see here. Okay, Selling may go away, saying hasn't lived up to history. Oh, interesting. Wall Street lore says traders should dump stocks in May to avoid the summer doldrums, but that strategy appears to have been a bust in recent memory. Okay. The S&P 500 has delivered gains in 8 of the past 10 years during this time frame, with an average return of 4%. Ooh. Sounds like the suits really don't want you to sell. They need a little bit of liquidity. Please don't sell is what they're saying. Okay. That makes me nervous. Okay. Let's go grab... I think we had an ADP report this morning as well, so let's knock that out. Oh, and did Wingstop report? Or are they reporting after the bell? I think they're so overvalued. Oh my gosh. Well, they're up 3%. But it's crazy what you have over here. So, ADP report comes in at 192,000 jobs created. The expectation was 183. And you had a prior vision as well. Went from 184. The prior up to about 208. Then you've got, what else is coming out today? You've actually had JOLTS coming out today. So we'll probably stay live until the JOLTS numbers come out. JOLTS numbers come out at 7 a.m., so in about 33 minutes. SBUCS obviously missed yesterday. You know, this wasn't a horrible surprise that SBUCS missed. They've been sort of forecasting that their Chinese strategy didn't work out as well as they expected. And then, of course, when the Chinese numbers came out, they were pretty terrible this morning. So we'll watch this. We've got Starbucks below $80. Honestly, I've probably been waiting like 2 years for them to come out with a price below $80. The problem with this is, you know, now you have a big China problem. And so the China problem is a big deal since they really spent COVID investing in the Chinese market, expecting that they'd be able to grow their stores. I mean, they doubled the number of stores they had in China, expecting they'd be able to make some dollar dollars, and now they're just not. It's crazy. Let's listen in here from, oh, look, they're talking Starbucks.
Including what we're doing overnight. It's a business we're building, and there's real opportunity over the course of the next 5 years to build a $2 billion leg there. Further,
you know, what's interesting is it seems like the more this guy is yapping, I don't even know what he's saying, but the more the stock is falling. So the CEO's on CNBC. That's just got to be a crap feeling. Can you imagine being the CEO of Starbucks and you're on CNBC, and as you're talking, you're just seeing the red candlesticks grow and grow and grow. It's like, I don't know, the opposite of people being attracted to you. It's inverse growing. Oh.
But we have an action plan against that.
Oh, they have an action plan, folks.
And deliver value to those occasional customers that will see value when they see what we offer them.
Okay.
What?
All right, Mr. Narasimhan, Starbucks CEO and director. By the way, a shareholder of my Travel Trust, I've done a mistake here. I'm saying it on air. Thank you very much for coming on, man. Coming on Squawk on the Street.
Meantime, Jim, we've been watching a 5-year chart of Starbucks, and at the opening...
Dude, Jim can't even make eye contact there. What the hell happened there? That was weird. That was weird. Jim could not even make eye contact to say goodbye to them. And look at now they like mirrored him or something. I don't know. That was interesting. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the bell. Here it comes.
Discussion and more of a realization that it's existential, because you can't go from plus 15, 20 projection to these numbers, particularly when you say that it's the weather in the U.S. and Dunkin' Donuts and Tim Hortons and McDonald's do not agree. So I am distressed about the situation, despite the fact that I know that Mr. Narasimhan says he does have an action plan.
Let's get the opening bell here and the CNBC Real-Time Exchange with the big board. It is Viking Holdings celebrating an IPO today, and we'll talk to the founder.
Okay. Let's take a peek. All right. So here we go. Square down 7%. S-Bucks it's sitting about down 14%. So it's gonna bob around obviously a little bit. We got Nvidia. Look at that, sitting at about that 850 level right here. Is it going to be able to take off from 850? We'll see. We're just 1 minute in right now. New York Community Bank giving up a little bit, some of that love. Square's recovering some of that pain it experienced. You've got the Qs. They're basically flat at 28 basis points, 29 basis points. Tesla goes green after a 5% sell down yesterday, sitting about that 183 bipadoodle level. Though now it seems like it's losing the lead. We'll see what happens there. DJT, oh wow, lordy. This thing all the way up now to $52 a share. Enphase up 132. Amazon up 3%. Amazon obviously reported earnings yesterday. Had a little bit of a miss on that Q2 forecast on how much revenue they think they'd create. But some incredible margins. I mean, some of the highest margins we've seen in the history of Amazon over at Amazon when you actually reported on these earnings. And then we've got Goog up about 35 bipadoozles. Intel just continues its decline. It's about 62, or sorry, it's down about 62 basis points. It does look like we're trying to get a red candle over there. Or a green one, rather. Let's look at this. So, looking for the biggest losers today. There's that Poet Tech. That's sort of this tiny little small cap that ran up to like a $70 million market cap. And I'm like, be very careful. You have been warned. The penny stocks move very, very, very quickly. Please do not fall victim to the liquidity crisis of these tiny little caps. That are publicly listed, and so sure enough, you know, while you had some euphoria here, it's been coming straight down. So this is just at least over the last 2 trading sessions. You can see you've topped out, coming right back down another 15% today. This makes sense. This is almost always what ends up happening with this sort of small cap pumpadoozles. All right, so Starbucks down 13.5, Supermicro down 12, Astera Labs down 7, AMD's down 7.3, Block is down 5.3, Bitcoin's down 4.4. Wow. What's shocking is Coinbase is only down about 1.4%, which is remarkable. 1.8%, sitting about 200 bucks. ARM's down 1.5, Nvidia's down 1.3, kind of holding on to that level there. United Airlines down, the Qs are down. TI's down, Tesla's down about 30 basis points. Flippy doodle this all the way around. And what do we got? New York Community Bank up about 17.5. That's, giving up a little bit, but it's holding on to something there. Embraer up 2.3%. Trump Media Group up 8%. The trial is also off today. It was on yesterday, but it was off Wednesday, and it'll be off again today. And then we'll move into some of the continuation of the trial. Let's listen in over here really quick. I'm also going to listen, but I'm going to run and grab my coffee really fast. Be right back.
Right now, for the broader market as we're 3 minutes into trading.
I know you think the Dow is atavistic, but I see
Given the mood you came in with, I kind of want to see your reaction to Estee Lauder this morning.
My wife's in Italy. She's having a great time.
That's another
the cow's going to have a baby. I ain't no bad mood.
It's
going
another
to have
name.
a baby. I'm going to name it
It's another
Tornado
name that used to get
Storm.
under your skin, so I'm kind of enjoying this. What do you think of this quarter there?
What, Estee Lauder?
Yeah.
This was the destocking quarter. They're finished with the downside. Fabrizio Freda gave you the turning point. He said it was the inflection. China's going up. You've got the duty-free numbers that are better. The stock's down 6. It was initially down 10. And I think that when Fabrizio Freda, who's had a tough run of the joint, says things are better, I'm going to go with him. He was always willing to say things were worse. He was never delusional.
Asia travel, retail returning to net sales growth there. I guess that's a positive
Look,
for
the
them.
stock was at 300. He's finally got it right. We continue to dump on him? No, I'm not going to dump on a guy who's got it right. Not everything's Pinterest.
Although, if we're looking at consumer, Jim, Starbucks, EL, Marriott miss, MasterCard not really guiding much higher for the year.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think MasterCard's doing okay. I see that, and I raised it with Steve Square yesterday, telling me at the annual meeting that I cannot believe how well American Express is doing. That may be a winner take all, loser take none suit. That's how well he's doing with Gen X, with millennials. So I think American Express is saying good things. Bank of America is saying good things in terms of spend.
but to Carl's point, it builds on a theme that we have been exploring a bit here, which is
Brown
consumer
shoots.
is getting weaker.
I thought you were looking for brown
frugal.
shoots.
The consumer's more frugal. We do have enough brown shoots for me to be able to say that
Okay, I really despise this idea of talking about brown shoots. It's like, I don't know, it just feels gross. Why are we talking brown shoots? Who makes this up? They're either green shoots or they're red shoots. It's very simple. Jim Cramer, what are you doing? What is this? Anyway, bizarre. Remember, today is Fed JPOW Day, so and it's also JOLTS Day, which makes today quite interesting. So we've got the ADP employment report. Now, I want to look at that ADP employment report because one of the things we had last time, employment report. One of the things we had last time was that those wage gains were really starting to take off, and I want to see if that trend has slowly started to reverse or what we're looking at with the last employment report to see, is the ADP report signaling any kind of wage price spiral or what? So here we go. This is the change in private sector employment. You can notice you've got construction doing well here. Information, so like tech, actually losing jobs at negative 4K. You're seeing a lot of talk about this. A lot of people very frustrated about how there are more layoffs in tech and, quite frankly, less job openings in tech. So you're seeing a lot of that frustration. But anyway, jobs clearly not being created in tech. Instead, they're being created by leisure, hospitality, healthcare services, and construction. Okay, job changers. Oh, wow. Okay. Year over year, pay gains for job stayers were little changed at 5%. Job changers fell from 10.1% to 9.3%, but remains higher than it was at the beginning of the year. So interesting. So a little bit of a boost in the last ADP report, but that's been sort of wound back down a bit. So I guess I'd call that some good news. Would be the way to call that. But I think they make this this pay insight here actually pretty clear that they're paying attention to those wage gains as well as potentially problematic. Let's listen in a little bit over here.
United States.
Right, but they're point blank saying, listen, they think they can win them over. They don't have everybody.
99.75%.
No, that's not the number that they're using, though. When you speak
Jim,
with
I'm
them
reading
directly.
from the press release.
I know, but they're
Plan
telling me
commits
they're
the company
still...
to pay ovarian claimants a present value of $6.475 billion to be paid over 25 years. They say that's a far better recovery than the claimants stand to recover at trial. Most ovarian claimants have not recovered at all, will not recover anything at trial. The company has prevailed, they say, in about 95% of the ovarian cases tried to date, including every ovarian case tried over the last 6 years. So,
right.
I thought this is what you've been looking for.
I spoke to plaintiffs' lawyers this morning, and they're not all. J&J is saying that. The plaintiffs' lawyers are not saying.
Okay, this is, to be fair,
that's
a press release from the company.
Right, but the plaintiffs' lawyers are not giving me the go-ahead on that number.
Not on the plan. By the way, the plan.
All right, it's a little boring, so let's go jump on over and see how else sticks are moving this morning. Looks like the Qs are moving down a little bit more. So they're down 36 basis points now, so you had a little bit of a sell down going into this movement here. You are trying to recover at the moment. Wingstop goes down 2%, that overvalued crap stock. You've got BTC sitting right now at that 57.4 level. It's pretty important. It's an important level, so we're going to want to pay attention to BTC as it could be a bit of a signal, honestly, an early warning sign for risk assets. Ooh, it's spooky. I don't know. See if they're off that topic yet.
Hold your horses.
Yep.
I do not want to get ahead of the situation because
No, they're still talking JJ. Okay, that's fine. So then we've got Tesla sitting. Look at that rejection. Double rejection at the 183 day trader line. 183. By the way, shout out to everybody who joined the Stocks and Psych group. We haven't the coupon's set to expire at midnight yesterday, but I think the team that was supposed to change that, everybody was dead and went to sleep. So right now we haven't changed it just yet. So everybody, congrats if you're in there, and thanks if you joined. But yeah, I think we got home. Boy, we had 3 cities yesterday. We had Austin, Houston, Dallas, and we were probably back at like 1:30 a.m. or something like that. It's a long day. And mind you, we were adjusted to East Coast time. So and you go back to West Coast, it's like, oh. But anyway, so yeah. Today, Fed J-Pow Day, obviously, and Househack investment expiration day. Should be an exciting day. Don't worry if you don't have your accredited investor letter yet. You could just use, if you fill out the subscription agreement today, you can always submit your accredited investor letter or W-2s, tax returns, or whatever after. So if you're considering investing in Househack, but you think you're behind because you don't have that accredited investor letter, we can follow up and handle that after the fact. So feel free to just go to househack.com/2024, read the prescription, and sign that sub agreement. So Starbucks, boy, still moving down at 15%. Now it's $75. It's crazy. I've been waiting for that to drop under $80. And oops, here it is. Look at Starbucks. Look at this on the week chart. It has just been a patient wait for this to get under $80. Here it is, under $80. Of course, now we're like, oh my gosh, all their investments in China suck. Although, is it the bottom then? Who knows? Who knows? Do you think we can hit one more option call so I could join Househack? Let's go. Totally. Good to see you back in the studio. I know, yeah. It is nice to be back. Good to be back home. That means Summer is in the same house. I haven't seen her yet, but I'm excited to see her again. So we'll see. So Davis here says, I joined the course yesterday. Awesome, Davis. That's great. Yeah, you should be able to get your Discord access there. Just check. Sometimes it takes, there's a slight little nominal lag after you watch Q1 and the bot gets you enrolled. So just give that a double check and you might end up finding that you've already been enrolled. So let's see here. S-Bucks sitting at that negative 15%. The Qs, 30. We've got in 18 minutes, we've got the JOLTS report coming out. So let's go ahead and write that down. Yeah, make sure you watch, if you need that Discord access, make sure you watch Lecture 1.0. Go through what you got to do in Lecture 1.0. Then give it about 5 or 10 minutes, and then you should have access. JOLTS at 7 a.m. Stay tuned. Let's write that down. So that's often a big one there. Being a course member is the smartest financial decision one can make. Pays for itself. Oh, thanks, Jacob. It's really nice. Somebody here says, I would not be surprised to see S-Bucks go back to $35 or $40. Wow. Wow. It's intense. Really got some anger there. What else do we have? Oh, we got quite a bit of data coming out. You got the S&P manufacturing PMIs in a couple minutes. ISM at 7. As well as JOLTS at 7. And then, of course, we've got the Fed Chair J-Pow, who's going to give us a big powing. We'll see how bad it is. Tesla, 85 bips. Enphase goes flat. Roku, 28 bips. Yeah, to the downside. Wow, there's Amazon sitting just above that 180, and Goog's up about 55 bipidudes. Trade Desk really holding on to roughly that 85 level, sitting about that 83.64 now. You know, we've seen a lot of volatility with Trade Desk, and boy, oh boy, sitting there at 95 bips up. Not bad. All right, let's find out what we've got in terms of data. Data is about 30 seconds away. Dun, dun, dun. So, 30 seconds away for this data set is the S&P Global U.S. Manufacturing PMI Purchasing Managers Index. This is really just a way of understanding if we get a number over 50, we're thinking expansion. A number under 50, we're thinking contraction. Here we go. It comes in at exactly 50. Wow, that actually beat expectations a smidge of 49.9. We got 50. Very cool. Again, 15 minutes away from Jolts. If you got questions on HouseHack, email us at ir@househack.com, or better yet, come to the Q&A we're doing right after the JPOW meeting. It'll actually be in the same live stream. So I'll just, we'll do our summary, and then we'll go right into HouseHack Q&A, so we could do a bit of that. And then we will be in Long Beach and San Diego today. So if you're interested in learning more about investing in HouseHack, consider Long Beach, San Diego, and we will be there today. Those are the last stops. Can you believe we've already done 20 of the 22 cities? That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, okay. Yeah, Kenny. MeetKevin.com. All right. So, Supermicro. How's it doing over here? It's trying to stabilize down about 12%. This is just a perfect example here of a company that the expectations on Wall Street are so darn high for it. Makes it hard to do anything here. Somebody here, Dragon Fruit here, says, thank you for the HouseHack share certificate. Appreciate all the work you're doing. You got it, buddy. New Car says, prayers for summer. What are your thoughts on TTI? Trying to see if I should get out now or hang tightly. I don't know. Let's see here. TTI? Tetra Techlings? Never heard of this company in my life. Never heard of it in my life. But let's see why you've made an investment here. TTI Investor Relations. Let's take a very quick look here. What is this? This is, so it's called Cordless Power Tools Leader. Oh, okay. And they have a picture of like a Milwaukee power tool on their website. Look at that. So they do stuff with power tools. Well, you are seeing the construction industry going a little poopsie-doopsie, mostly because of this. Wow, they do all the white labeling over here, brushless motors and stuff. But anyway, less people moving. So you've got less of a spend on sort of these new products. But let's just see if they actually even make money. Here we go. Net cash. Okay, that's a weird... There we go. Operating activities. Let's see. Operating cash flow, $1.8 billion. It's actually pretty good. Was that 1.8? Yeah, a billion. 1.8 billion. Share awards scheme. They must be a UK company then. Hong Kong taxes paid. Net payment. What is this? Okay. Well, positive movement here. Increase, decrease in inventories. Let's see. Cash generated from operations, $2.2 billion. How much are they actually investing into plant, property, equipment? Not much, 51 million bucks. Net cash used in investing activity, negative 778. That's fine. So they've got cash flow of about $2 billion. Just remarkable. How big is this company? This is a market cap of 524 million. How could this be right? How do you have a $525 million market cap and cash flow at this level? You must have just like a crap load of debt or something. Assets less current liabilities, 7.61. Let's see what their balance sheet says here. This is a little messy. It doesn't feel like a gap formatted statement at all, but whatever. So 5.2 million bucks in non-current assets. So those are their long-term. Short-term assets I've got. How much cash do we actually have? Inventories. Right of returned good asset. Some weird numbers here. Bills receivable. Deposits and prepayments. Trade receivables. Where's their... Oh, there it is. Cash. $953 million. And their current liabilities are like $4.7 billion. Wow, okay. So a lot of money is going to current payables. And they've got a lot of inventory. So I bet their revenue's falling, and that's why people are scared. No. But their gross profit isn't growing by that much. 5.4 billion versus 5.2. It's really interesting. You know, it actually... Nothing in this feels so, like, glaringly horrible. It's very interesting. I don't know what's going on over there. It'll take a little bit more time, but I thought maybe at a glance we could see something quickly. I don't see anything at a glance. I mean, we know it's a foreign company here. I don't know if they just reported earnings or what. Clearly they're down here. It's probably because just the growth you got after COVID wasn't being sustained anymore. So, here's your COVID decline, recovery, and now you're kind of trading sideways to down. It's actually an interesting company, though. All right, then we got about 46 bips now on the Qs. That means we sold off another 20 basis points. 10 minutes to the JOLTS report. Be interesting. SBUX sitting at 15.3% down. Nvidia is almost down 2%. Could not hold it up over 850. Womp, womp, womp. Somebody wants to know if I've ever been to Hong Kong. Nope. Whoa. CVS gets smoked. What's going on over there? CVS. All right. Let's see here. All right. CVS. Oh, wow. Fiscal year adjusted EPS, big miss. Expecting $7. The street was looking for $8.29. Big miss. Womp, womp, womp. Q1 comp sales were actually up. It's really their forecast here that they cut. Yeah, that's it. It's just a tumble on the forecast. A tumble rumble on the forecast. So let's write that down. So CVS misses forecast. And we could say they missed their forecast by about 16%. Well, I'll call it 15.7% miss on fiscal year forecast. Stock down 18%. That ADP report, again, watching that sort of highlight on job changers, seeing wage gains move up from the 7% range at start of year to 9.3% to 10.1% in the last 2 months. Yeah, so seeing that sort of continued wage pressure. Bitcoin now under 57.4. Not a good number. We want to be under there. Okay, so JOLTS in 7 minutes. What we got over here? I hate doing this, but I had to make the coffee, so let me go pick it up really quick. I'll be right back. No, dang it, I want that coffee. What? I need to get it going. They were literally just on commercial. Oh, I just want the coffee. Fine then. We'll try the Doom Burgers. Let's see if we can get the Doom Burgers up. I prefer CNBC over Doom Burger. I'm not the biggest fan of the Doom Burger. Mostly because some of the people who work there are little fussy butts. But I know they're also pretty hard workers over there. So it's not everyone.
We'll track all of that. And of course, we've got a Fed special for you a little bit later on.
Oh,
today.
yeah, a Fed special. All right, let me go get that coffee really quick.
Second down day in a row. Most sectors for the S&P 500 are lower, suggesting that there's a broad-based decline here. The worst sector, staples, down about 1%. Mondelez, the big drag there. But tech is also down sharply, down 0.6%. On the other hand, consumer discretionary being helped out by Amazon, up about 0.75%. The oil and services sector, though, this week so far, managed down about 4%. This as oil has fallen nearly 10% over the last couple of weeks.
Okay, Abby, thank you very much. Coming up, your market moving events. We're going to set your clock by a trading diary. And guess what? Part of that will be a Fed special right here on Bloomberg.
The Principal Room, brought to you.
I have returned. Just in time, it appears, with Optimus. Optimus! Ah, look at that face. Isn't that cute? Ha ha ha. Alright. Pneumatic coffee noob. Yeah, tube. No kidding. Whew. Let's see. Alright. Somebody here says, I just bought stock with my gains and got margin called. Well, because that has to settle, right? So, it takes a couple of days. So you have to, you have to keep that in mind. If you, let's say you make gains on a Monday, you're not technically going to have that cash available until Wednesday. So if then on, you make gains on Monday, then you go invest that into a certain stock on Monday, and then that stock goes down on Tuesday, well, technically there's a chance you can get margin called. Now, usually you have 2 days to fulfill the margin call, so your cash should settle the next day and cover your margin. So look at your deadline on the margin call. Sorry that's happening to you. I know that's probably A, annoying, and B, stressful, but yeah, that can happen with settlement time frames. So it's a little funny. One day we'll go to T+0 settlement, which is basically same day settlement. But we're not there yet. We are not there yet, my friends. One day we will be closer to a fast system. But today we have Nick T. Nick T today says we've got, some brokers will credit you. Yeah, it just sort of depends. Take cream in your coffee. No, sorry, I can't do cream. I mean, I'll drink it if somebody accidentally puts it in, but I like whole milk. Whole milk, baby. I used to always drink it black, but you know what they say, once you add milk. Okay. Anyway, so Nick T over here, as you can see, this particular screenshot here, this was like all June, not that long ago. And some banks have literally given up on trying to call what day that they're going to, or what month we're going to see rate cuts. And they're just saying, yeah, sometime in 2025. Yeah, markets broadly only expecting about 1.25 cuts. That's what I saw yesterday. Let me look again here. Let's find out the world interest rate probability. The probability of a rate cut in December presently sits at 1.22%. I'm sorry, 1.22 cuts expected. Yeah, market's selling off a little bit going into the J. Powen. You've got CVS down 18%. The Qs now down 0.5%. Just leaking out, bleeding out over here. But Tesla
gained the lead.
Yes, Tesla gains the lead. Trying to sit up above 183. 57 twos on the BTCs. I cannot believe Coinbase is only down 10 bips. I would have thought it would have been good to short Coinbase in such a move. I did not. I don't have any trades going right now, but as soon as I make a trade, I will send you an alert in the Stocks and Psychology Money Group. The team has not changed that pricing yet. Everybody conked out at 1:30 last night. So if you're still interested in that Stocks and Psych group, do check that out. Link down below over at meetkevin.com. Don't get his humor with that weird voice. Aww. So anyway, 7 a.m. we've got the Jolt's numbers coming out. That's just 1 minute away now from, half and half. 1 minute away now from that, what's it called? The good old Jolt cheese numbers. Do you feel FSD is worth $99 a month? Depends how much you drive, you know, if you're just joining, or if you're just driving from home to, you know, dropping your kids off at school and coming back and a little turnaround. No, it's probably not worth it, you know? So it's a lot of money per month. Coin's intrinsic value as a company propping them up at this level, as they normally track BTC pretty well? Question mark? I think that's wishful thinking. I think Coin's intrinsic value actually goes down over time as their ETFs become more popular. But over the last 2 quarters, they've done very, very well, exceptionally well. And they've actually had probably a lot more demand for their services. So I actually think Coin's been doing much better than expected. But I honestly, I don't know today. I mean, maybe if that was true over a longer-term trend, I couldn't call it on a day saying it's only up because of intrends. We'll find out. All right, Jolt's numbers are coming in at 8.488. That is a lower number than expected. We were looking for 8.68. We got 8.488. It is a sign that the labor market is finally softening. Then we get ISM, prices pay. Oh, no. Oh, no, it's not good. It's not good, my friends. ISM, prices paid, expected to come in at 55.4. We get 60.9. Get ready for the J-Pow rug pull, where job numbers are going down. Inflation numbers are going up. It is the wrong way. I would suspect the Qs were relatively unhappy as a result of that. Okay. I had a candlestick that cannot be identified. It is neither a him or a she. And it's neither red nor green. But as you can see, the AI sector seems to think that is a reason to sell down. Okay, that's very interesting. New York Community Bank back at 20%. Bitcoin 57.2. Tesla's down. Oh, couldn't keep it up above 163. Okay, sucks for them. Palantir 22. Enphase 30 bips. And this is very interesting. It's a hot report, you know, on prices paid. Mind you, manufacturing comes in lower than expected. We're expecting neutral. We were expecting a neutral at 50, and we ended up getting contraction, 49.2. New orders, 49.1 versus 51. So basically a miss on all the manufacturing stuff, but hot on inflation. Okay. Bonds down 3.9 bips. That's interesting. I thought that would have gone up a little higher after that sort of hot read there. So it didn't though. If I haven't said it yet, actually I know I already have, but it's just an interesting transition word to just say it again. Today is the last day to sign your subscription agreement for HouseHack. So if you are an accredited investor and you want to be part of the M1 Finance / Robinhood / Airbnb future of real estate that we're creating at HouseHack with 0 fee options in the future to invest in HouseHack mini funds, a lot of cool things we're doing, a lot of cool ways we're innovating. If you want to be part of that company, consider reading the prospectus over at househack.com/2024 and consider investing. All you have to do is sign your subscription agreement today, and we'll give you a few days, maybe a week or so, to make sure you get your accredited investor letter if you need that, or your tax returns can get verified, or a letter from a CPA or attorney, whatever. And then, of course, if you're investing in a retirement account, that's going to take a little bit of time. So we'll do all the processing, so to speak. All right. Ooh, is Gary V invested? Who's on my cap table is a giant secret. So you will not know the answer to who or whom is on the cap table. All right. SPOC's trying to recover, but it's still down 14.5. Bitcoin recovering a bit after that. What's not recovering is Nvidia. That's the only thing that went down after that manufacturing report. Oh, and Tesla. It lost its lead. So, and Enphase. Okay. So a little bit of a heart palpitation there on those ISM numbers coming in stronger on the prices paid side, but weaker on the actual manufacturing side. All right, let's take a brief listen over here to the Doomers.
The Citigroup CEO talk about some consumers pulling back and just being a bit more cautious given the underlying currents that we see.
And it feels like you saw that from some of the results that we've gotten from corporate America as well. I'm thinking about McDonald's, for example, flagging some of that on their earnings call. So you make the point that we're talking about another pivot here. Just to clarify, the pivot we're talking about this time is a pivot back to maybe a more hawkish bias?
I don't necessarily know the Fed is going to go. I don't think the Fed is going to go all the way back to a hawkish bias. But it was a policy.
No. That's why I think 60-40. I agree with that. Somebody here says, has the price already gone up on stocks? It's like, the team isn't in yet to raise the price. We were supposed to do it like at midnight yesterday, but we landed at 110 after playing Settlers of Catan on the plane and sort of catching up with the team. But everybody was kind of conked out yesterday, so we haven't changed it yet. So yeah, you could still get in at yesterday's price if you wanted to, but that will change. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We played Settlers of Catan twice on the plane now, and the first time, 3 of them ganged up on me and favorably traded each other, and they lost at Settlers of Catan to me. And then today, given that it was like midnight, very early this morning, we were playing Settlers coming back from Texas. And once again, I won. Thank you. People are like, yes, the real estate man wins in Settlers again. Yeah. Oh. Wow, Nvidia is now down 3%. It like once you give up that 850, it's going oopsie doopsie, I guess, huh? Ay. 3% on Nvidia here. And Tesla down about 1%. Yeah, crazy. Can you do a video about Bitcoin and how the NSA and cyberpunks are the creatures of Bitcoin? There. Just did it. Somebody here says, you're so full of yourself, it's cringed. Thank you. Please just call it... I think what you're trying to say is you want me to say Catan. It's the perfect way to say it. It's not Catan. Made by the Germans. I'm German, therefore I know. Okay, so then we've got, what is this, ARM? Let's see. Yeah, ARM's under 100 as well. What a mess. Somebody says you're Jewish, not German. No. Like, we literally did an Ancestry, or was it a 23andMe or what? Anyway, one of those things. And when it first came out, it was like, oh, you're 0.01% Jewish. And then, like 3 years later, they eradicated that from my genealogy. I'm just like, where did it go? I thought I was more diverse. Nope, you're all German. And they deleted the Jewish. I'm like, that's... Anyway, whatever. That's crazy. So, then, yeah, 53 bips here on the Qs. 57, 3. Okay, so that's somewhat stable. Enphase bleeding a little bit. 75 bips to the Amazon. I mean, this isn't even like that exciting. You're up 3% on Amazon, but frankly, it's been at like 180 to 189. So its earnings basically just brought it back to the low end of that range. So it's not very exciting. What's also not very exciting is Intel. Boy, they cannot keep it up at all. Suckers. Royal Caribbean down about 3%. Uber 42 lifts up a tiny little bit. Hasbro's down. Ooh, wow. Super Micro 15% to the downside. I feel so bad. There was somebody in the live stream yesterday morning when I was in that hotel. They're like, oh, it's going to 1,400. I'm like, no, it's not. It's the problem on betting on beats for the AI companies, and this is why I didn't bet on earnings. I didn't make a bet in either direction. But I was thinking to myself, I go, the expectations are so high for AI that you cannot please Wall Street right now on AI. It's crazy. So anyway, Apple bobbing around 170. Look at that almost perfect bounce right there at 169. Yes, you want to see where we bounce? Just join Stocks and Psychology of Money. How much of your net worth is invested in house hacks, says someone here. Well, the way you have to look at it is, obviously I've got a lot of investment into house hack, whether that's the shares, 7 figures in shares, or the time that's been put in, 2 years already of time. But really, I look at the biggest thing, the biggest risk that I've created for my life as owning the plane. That's a $13 million basically call option on house hack I pay for, and it costs me $2.5 million a year. So, if house hack has that, if house hack grows for 4 years, that's $10 million that I have to pay, over a 4-year period just to maintain that. So it's a lot, so when you start adding that together, it's like, oh yeah, that is a lot. Good question though. But house hack investment deadline is today. And I honestly, I don't want to raise money for house hack anymore, because once we close this round, I want to be in a place where we can only just focus on the next phase for house hack, which is exciting. Q's now down 70 bips, and that's one that should be self-sustaining. 15% on S-Bucks, so that's sort of holding stable here. Look at Square, continues to bleed out. You're almost down 10% on Square. Let's zoom out for a moment. Let's go on the week chart here. And you are just dragging along the bottom basically here on Square. And Bitcoin dropping some more, under 57.2 now. Whoa, Nvidia's down now almost 4%. It's just a rocket ship to the ground. Tesla dropping about 1.5. People are worried about getting JPO'd. So, wow, crazy. Why not use NetJets? Oh, a cute question. NetJets is a wonderful company. NetJets going to cost me, with the takeoff taxi time they're going to charge me, they're going to cost me about $14,000 per hour. Last year, I flew about 362 hours. Do you understand what $14,000 times $362 looks like? It's that number right there. Over $5 million. At some point, usually at about a 200 hour a year break even, it makes much more sense to own than to rent. What's going on over here?
They had been expecting, but that weakness showing up in the likes of Cigna, but even their retail and their pharmaceutical services,
CVS,
pretty much well below what Wall Street was looking for. And it's not every day you see a now $70 billion company plunging more than 20% after earnings, but that's the case right now with CVS Health.
Yeah, absolutely. Just an ugly day for CVS. We'll continue to track that one. Great roundup, as always. Our big thanks to Bloomberg's Bailey Lipschultz. Now coming up, Barrick Gold beating earnings estimates for the first quarter. We're going to speak to Mark Bristow. He is the company's president and CEO next. This is Bloomberg.
Ooh, Barrick beats estimates. Somebody here says, how about less weird voices and accent? It's weird and disgusting. No. Go away. The voices are to drive you away. To drive the haters away. It's your loss.
That we've got to go down to. To us, it looks like you could see a correction down to that 4,800 level, 4,750, 4,850, somewhere in that range, which would be a material nice correction.
Wow.
We're exactly 6 months in. Remember, we started this rally November 1. It's now May 1. Exactly 6 months into this strong rally. It probably is time to take a little of that pressure off, particularly with what the dollar is doing and rates.
Yeah, 4,800, you can see, look at that. We're in no man's land here on the Fibby Doos. 5,800 or 4,800 would bring you right down to that fib level he's talking about.
Are going to look.
Oh, it's Sarah.
Making sure that we start to see some progress on disinflation?
So you nailed it,
Yeah.
right, Sarah? Because here's the thing, right? The enemy of the markets right now is inflation, right? So what's going to push inflation down or continue the deflation? I think it's the labor market, right? If we would see the unemployment rate start to rise, people would normally say, oh, that's bad for the economy. It won't be. It will be actually good for markets because they'll believe that that's going to be disinflationary and start to bring that number down. And so we think that, as the labor market softens, which we think you're seeing some of that, right? You just saw it in the JOLTS number. ADP was a little stronger. We think the non-farm payroll on Friday will be down at the headline number. But watch wages and watch that unemployment rate, right? Those are the two things I think that will fixate on how inflation's path goes from here. And remember, we're going to fade in the second half of this year some of the housing pressure we got last year.
Yeah, this guy's a little boring. I mean, he's saying all the normal stuff.
Daryl, we'll see what we get on Friday.
It's always a
Yeah, ADP jobs report was obviously today, but we do get the jobs print on Friday.
We had to break. Here's our roadmap for the rest of the hour. Wall Street boosting its outlook for Amazon stock following strong results. We're going to speak with one analyst who has one of the higher price targets about what's ahead for the company.
Plus, Tesla's CEO, you know who that is. His name's Elon Musk. He's weighing in on the future of its supercharging network. This after gutting its EV charging team. We're going to discuss what it means for Tesla, other automakers that use the network, and, of course, customers.
And from the seas to the street, cruise operator Viking goes public today.
What?
Set to be the biggest IPO of the year so far.
From the seas to the street? I feel like that's like trying to make a Palestine from the river to the seas reference, which is not great. That's one side seen as anti-Semitic, as it implies. Eradicate Israel. That's interesting. From the rivers to the street. Who says that? That's weird. Weird reference. Anyway, ARM, wow, $97. S&P 500 down 30 bips. It's going to be time to go to that course member live stream in a moment. So we've got BTC down 57.1, Nvidia down 3.6. Wow. Tesla's down, almost down 2% here, although it looks like maybe it's hitting a little bit of a floor there. And obviously, we'll have, JPOW today. Make sure you are here for the Jerome Powell event. I will be covering that live, and then at the end of the JPOW event, we will be going through a house hack Q&A. So if you want a public house hack Q&A, buckle up and stay tuned. So then over here, you've got, this is ELF. ELF sort of topped out a little bit. And then you've got, what else? Yeah, everything else is just crappy. What time, JP? JP's at 11 a.m. So that's about 3.5 hours, folks. We'll see you in about 3.5 hours. Kevin, you started the year thinking about deflation. Hell yeah, I did. Abso-freaking-lutely, because all the numbers were coming in deflationary. Then we started getting hot report after hot report, and then I got nervous in March, and I'm like, I'm going to get more cash. And unfortunately, the numbers just keep coming in hot. So we'll see what kind of JPOW rugging and tugging we get today. I don't actually think it's going to be horrible, but yeah, I'd have a slightly hawkish bias. Somebody yesterday at the one of the house hack events we were doing, remember we have Long Beach and San Diego today, someone's like, Kevin, I love it when you do Fed Bingo. So we'll make sure we do Fed Bingo today. Alright, now I gotta push this button. Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is neither personalized financial advice nor real estate advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show should not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purpose of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services which we may benefit from. I personally operate and actively manage ETF and hold long positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuers other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker. You know, Steve here saying I'm slowly joining the second wave inflation crew. You know what I was joining was it's supposed to be you in Canada. I go to Toronto to meet Steve. And who doesn't show up? Steve.
Just close the fucking door. Close the door.